Sure, Trent says hello. I'm born in Cape Town, or better known as Cape. It's the original Khoikhoi name for the space, Cape Town. Actually, in the neighborhood, Q-Town, Athlone. That's where we actually came from, and then we eventually moved to Lavender Hill. I was very young, and then I've been living in Lavender Hill, and then from Lavender Hill, we moved to Seawinds, which is where I'm now. So it's this area is like Retreat, Steenberg, Lavendale area. That's where I'm living now. Hip hop was something that was you weren't really introduced to it. Like you was just always around it. You know, uh, it was actually hip hop was introduced to you. You weren't introduced to hip hop. You know, at a very young age, like you were listening to the stuff that my brother used to play with the radio stuff, and also, yeah, the kids in the neighborhood, they're all bumping these beats, and it was like feel good music. You know, it was kind of like break away from whatever things is bothering you. Bump a beat gonna make you feel good. You know, so that was the vibe. We were like listening because it was generating a good feeling, a sense of something. You know, like even the songs of like "fuck the police," you know. And at the time when I was growing up, that was the basic sentiment around was to fuck the police because they were like soldiers of Babylon, and we're fighting against apartheid. You know, we're fighting against a common enemy, and hip hop was a way to express your anger. It was a way to say, like, fuck off to the establishment, you know, because there was not a nicer word to use. Like, you can't be like, oh, can you just go that side too? No, you know, you can't be like that. You have to be like, literally be like, you know, I'm pushed against the wall. I'm in a corner. There's no way to turn to. So, you know, to say, yo, fuck off. You know, I need to live. I need my place under the sun. I need to breathe. I need to be alive. I need to survive. Yeah, you know, in the scene was quite interesting that time when I was uh, coming from this area, the ghettos, in the Cape Flats, and from there, I kind of made escape route because the academics, the schoolwork. So through education, I went to study at Stellenbosch University. You know, the bastion of racism in a way. It's like the head cornerstone of the oppressors in a way. You know, intellectually, it was the intellectual beehive. It was the bastion of Afrikaner nationalism in a way also. So all these things. So we kind of I took myself to Stellenbosch to study there because that was the forefront of the battle. If you went to UWC, they weren't racist. They weren't like your enemy wasn't there. That was all your comrades, yeah. So I took myself to Stellenbosch because in a way that was you confronted with your enemy. You have to deal with him. They have to deal with you. You know, so I took myself as as it seemed for me at the time to the forefront, you know, to the first line of defense of attack, you know. So I went to Stellenbosch and studied there. So when I there I was exposed to different styles, music genres, other things, you know, kind of opened my gaze musically. But foundations was also always embedded in hip hop, and then from there other influences came, and yeah, and then you know, you always kind of just went along with the MC. And then when I was from there, I went to study at the art school, and at the art school, you know, you were like getting creative with your drawing, illustrating, and stuff like that. So then that also was developing more and more, like just the graffiti style. So I used to have a tag named Hot Stepper, giving it away now. But okay, I used to put like Hot Stepper on the walls and everywhere, and then it just became Stepper, you know, STEPA, Stepper. So yeah, and then also at the time there was a growing jungle scene. The jungle scene was like, yeah, like breakbeat. It was just a sped up breakbeat because hip hop was all about the break. So sped up the jungle. It was, yeah. So I was doing with Sky 189. Me, myself, Sky, and Denver from Woodface 5. The three of us, and with a few other cats, we used to MC over jungle beats, right? So we used to like do the whole jungle. It was sort of the forerunner to drum and bass. So it was the breakbeat. So that was like the scene, the whole, the era of in Cape Town. This era of the bass. Now the bass is like something I grew up in that era. I was around then, and the bass was centered primarily. Dancing was key. Like people was always like in a crew, stuff like that. Now in my area where I live, there was a crew called the Le Freaks. Now the Le Freaks were like, they used to come to my house and go and like have practice sessions. My sister used to chill with the Le Freaks. And so they were always like hyping me up about, yo, Saturday matches, yo, the bass, it's with what's hip, what's happening. And yeah, so I did grow up in that era, in that time. Although, I was on another stage then. I was around, I saw everything, everyone was breaking down this thing, but dancing wasn't really my thing. I was like, okay, this is cool, but hey, we were just like rapping along with tracks. I used to like L Cool J's and all of that, like Fresh Breath, all of that, we were like, it's just like, we were like rapping along, yeah. I was rapping along, and that's kind of how it kind of started. We just kind of went along with the raps, and we used to like even write out a rap to a girl, just to like soften her up a little bit. And you'd listen with who would used to like, it's a tape era. She used to like, stop, go back, write down, stop, write down until you got to 16. And then he would give it to a girl and she'd be like, wow. But of course he would say, this is the rhyme for. First taste of the stage, I was coming up as a solo act back in the day. So it was sort of just taking open mics. So there was like open mics popping up. Myself, I was on the scene, like as an MC, and you entering in ciphers. So the first stage you really take is a street stage, if I can call it that. It's just a cipher. It's just entering a cipher. You like whether you're just coming through with some freestyles. So and then yeah, like, and then later on, you start taking other stages. Like this is like, say, we could say like late 90s, early 2000s, when we started just playing around. We didn't know where this was going to take us. So it was like, I remember late 90s and early 2000s, that around that time, that is when I was really like, okay, taking it now. Okay, wow, let's rap, let's get, start writing. There was like, there were like, I remember there was this Boogie Down Nights, the Boogie Down Nights, this other guy, Adam Bonanza, him and Deform Denver, they used to set up this Boogie Down Nights. Then there was also, Hummer also used to have his own, the Ghetto 3000s, actually, the Ghetto 3000s at the Long Street Studios. I remember those were like, and then the Boogie Down Nights, with DJ Hammer, yeah, and then also remember, Fifth Floor organized these matinees at in Arbs, Yeah, so we used to like, you know, test the mic. Um, you you already have your 16s, maybe two 16s, and with the verse. I mean, with the chorus, and then what happened was cats that wasn't really rolling in crews. They were like all like individual. So the crew would go up and they would perform. Next crew would come and perform. And then all the cats that wasn't the crew were like just like single out, and they're all clustered together, and they would kind of form a crew, you know. And so I remember I used to split a lot with like King Daniel, the late King Daniel, Bongani, because yeah, it was we all kind of were like affiliated to other crews like Fifth Floor, and there was the Uncanny Assessment, and then there was also Groundworks, there was also First Case, there was also, you know, so there was all these, uh, yeah, and then back in the day, we started out rhyming with a crew. We started a crew called Cleanse Fist. Cleanse Fist was our first real crew, if I can put it like. And I started out with another homie called Midas. Me and Merciless Midas. So the two of us started out, and I used to organize events, right? I was an event organizer, and I used to set up a gig, and we used to run the street signs. Which was, I just had my own gig, and it was Dreadster Productions. Dreadster Productions. That was kind of I was pushing it under that name. So the street signs was running. We used to have a drum cafe. We used to have our parties at Drum Cafe, and there was other places called New Day now, in Castle Street back in the day. We also run stuff there. So yeah, we used to like take things in our own hand. There weren't gigs for us, so we made our own gigs. We would just speak to club owners. We're like, yo, we're gonna get this place full, right? You're gonna get your bar like sorted out. We want to take the door, and boom, you know. So they were happy with that. So it was a trade-off, or like, yeah, we made sure that the place was full, and then yeah, people used to like, you know, support the bar. So we set up our own parties. So it was nice. It was vibrant. Like, you kind of get bored of just going to parties. You just in this like just one of the under hundreds or what? How many people are there? So then I kind of took it. I didn't like that DJ. I didn't like the venue. So I'm like, yo, let me organize things, so I'm gonna like it. So I was like, okay, get the right venue, get the right DJs, get the right acts, and then I used to MC the show, also spit, you know. And in that phase, we started out the Cleanse Fist.
You and Midas. What did you have a name for that crew?
Yeah, the crew was called Cleanse Fist.
You and Midas were Clench Fist.
We were the first members.
Okay.
We were the first members, Cleanse Fist, and then we grew, we expanded. You know, that time we were already linked with cats like Fungus Mutated Lung, Fungus. He was with Uncanny Assessment. We were chilling with cats like Snazdy, you know, from Catchless Society. You were also linking up with cats from Joburg. You know, what's the crew called again? Yeah, we were like even with Emphatic Tabs. We were chilling with him when he came down to the Cape. So we started our Cleanse first, me and Midas, and then we branched out. We got Chronic X, you know, or the Close-Up Prince, as he was also known. He also came into the fray, and then it kind of just branched out, and then this kid, like, you know, he was young. He was killing the freestyles. He was killing like ciphers. I remember he was battling once. He was battling Breeze. he was battling TOP, and I used to kill cats. Loxinism. I don't know if people know even of the cat, because he kind of just went like this AWOL. He kind of just disappeared. But Loxinism was one of the crew members on Plants First. And then we also had this other guy. He's actually become now quite famous. Jack Barrow. Jack Barrow was also part of the Clans, and we used to there was this Fire on the Mountain gigs, in Franschhoek, and so we used to spit there. We spat also. I remember once we spat at the CCID. CCID. No, what's the place called in Cape Town? Convention Center. I don't know what you call it, but the convention center, there was so there was we were taking the stage, and we were and our style was, we were tired of just a normal act. Cats going on stage, them spitting their rhymes and them off. We wanted to do something different. The idea came across. We're like, why don't we get into character? Each member of the crew was a different character. So myself, being the scientist, lyrical scientist. So I was I'm the scientist. So I used to have a wet cloak, some doctor vibes going, and then Prosa Prince, or Chronic X, he was just come out as Prosa Prince, all traditional Prosa attire, and Loxinism, he was real militant, right? So he was a soldier, right? And Zander, or better known as Jack Barrow, Zander. So Zander, he was kind of weird. I don't know what was he at. I can't get to that actually. But we also had another cat. He used to kill it, Benji. Benji used to kill it. He used to kill it back in the day. He was one of the illest cats in our crew. He was the priest, and he used to come with the Bible, dressed out in the suit and the tie, come and rock on the stage. So that was the idea that we had, and then later on in that time we made up with Garlic Brown, and then we were affiliated. He was already with Brasse van die Kaap, and he was also with Tom and Jerry, him and Scully. They were also just a duo. And then we were linking, because of the underground scene, we connecting with cats, and besides with the lyrics and the rhymes and the culture of hip hop, we were just connecting with people on the personal, So Garlic Brown also linked with us, but he was with us even before Zander them, because before so then Garlic was tight, and then he was also part of the clench. And then people started moving away, Zander, he decided you cats are rhyming too much in English. He couldn't handle all the English. He just wanted to do some Afrikaans styles, and so he moved on his A's, and then that's when our thoughts started taking the different type of shape, and then that's when we started out with the Dark Lords.